unpaid leave of absence. No estimate in terms of how many the company expects to take that unpaid leave of absence. And it's also instituting a hiring freeze. As you take a look at shares of United as well as Delta, American, and Southwest, keep in mind that the CEOs were here at the White House to talk with the president and the coronavirus task force about the efforts made by the industry to make it safe for people to fly and to track people coming in from overseas who may be infected with the coronavirus. So as a result, that story largely overshadowed by the news from United within the last hour, where United is saying it will be cutting its schedule substantially in April. Don't be surprised if we see the same thing from other airlines in the next few days.
Phil, thanks so much for that. Josh, do you hold these guys directly, or just a bit? You get some exposure via Berkshire Hathaway?
Well, I think that's probably preferable these days if you're going to have any airline exposure. Buffett's got between 4 and 10% of the 4 majors, or the 3 majors and Southwest. Mm-hmm. I don't really have a strong sense that we're going to see a recovery even in, like, let's say this whole thing blows over in a week or two. This is the kind of thing that will linger into the second quarter, just historically speaking. So I just feel like, what is the rush? If you really need to be in these stocks, it's not like they're selling at 4 or 5 times earnings. The E in PE ratio is surely going lower, even though estimates have already been cut. So I don't see any urgency to jump in. I acknowledge that they're better than they've ever been as an industry. The companies are better run than they've ever been. I get all that.
What are the expectations for earnings for airlines at this point?
I mean, they're on the way down. And they all look, to Josh's point, they all look super cheap. I think maybe you could spin it slightly to the positive and say they're cutting flights. They're not deciding all-out price war is the way to do this when demand goes down the way they have in the next couple of months.
But you have to think they'd be giving cheaper fares to get people on flights.
Here's what they're doing. JetBlue is like, listen, don't be afraid to book. We are not going to charge you a fee if you need to change your date. That's like smart. That's what they should do. So I doubt volumes are completely dropping off a cliff, but this could be ugly for 2 quarters, not 1. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it?
We are up over 4% for the S&P and the Dow with just under 4 minutes left. Now, we've had a sharp drop in yields. That's prompted some borrowers to run to mortgage lenders. Diana Olick has more on the rush to refinance. Diana.
Well, Wolf, it was a huge week for the mortgage market. The average rate on the 30-year fix fell to 3.57% from 3.73% for loans with 20% down. And rates hit a record low to start this week. That drop caused a 26% surge in weekly refinance applications. Volume was nearly 224% higher annually. I spoke with Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. He said they had a record day Monday and Tuesday. He did not, however, think the Fed's rate cut was warranted.
When we look at the economy, when we look at borrowing rates, rates have been great. They've been dropping. The 10-year Treasury was in a great position, and so an additional rate cut at this moment in time may not bring the benefit that we were all looking for.
Now, mortgage applications to purchase a home were actually down for the week as buyers weigh the benefit of low rates against the fear of how the coronavirus will hit the economy. Back to you guys.
Diana, thank you. Mike, what are you seeing in the market in terms of
they've improved as we've gone on. I think there's been this kind of whoosh of index buying as we've gone on. But a lot of times people want to see something like, 90% of all volume to the upside to say, OK, this is a real statement by buyers that, in fact, this is a thrust higher. We're not